Good morning, everyone. While we're waiting for others to get in and get settled, now's a good time to grab anything you need to get comfortable. Maybe it's a glass of water or a hot cup of tea or coffee. Also, if you have items at home and you'd like to smudge, it's a good time to grab those items as we begin to ignite the healing within. And if you don't have smudge at home, that's okay, relatives. I'll send you some cleansing, healing, and positive energy your way. It's a new day. It's Aloha Friday. At least that's what we call it back home. Every Friday is Aloha Friday, but particularly in Oahu, it's first Friday of the month. It was always a big deal in Honolulu. Actually, every Friday, fireworks would always go off, and then there'd be movie on the beach. I miss my home. It's a new day, relatives. It's another sunrise, another sunset. This is our opportunity to reset, to start again, to take stock of how we're feeling and how we want to move forward today on our wellness path. Aloha kakahiaka. Hello and good morning. My name is Malia and I'm a community healer at the HIR Wellness Institute. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on the mental health and wellness of our relatives of Turtle Island, as well as other Indigenous and underserved communities, and also victims of crime. You can join us here every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. where we will always breathe, stretch, explore ways of integrating self-care and wellness into our daily lives, and we will always honor our cultural traditions, our customs, our ancestry, our strength, and our resilience. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, relatives. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our HIR Wellness Institute team member here who is here to serve us in this circle of care. We have our social work intern, John Yang. Good morning, John. How you doing today? John, like myself, is here to be with you in this circle of care, in which each of us have our own unique gifts given to us that we were born with by the Creator, but also our backgrounds and professional backgrounds and experience. So know, relatives, that we're here to serve you. We're here to be with you. And I love being here too. So we're practicing community activated medicine when we're together in these healing spaces. It's founded by our founder, Leah Denny. That term was developed by her. Community activated medicine means that the people are the medicine. And that means right here, right now, as we lean into each other and hold space for each other and provide emotional support for each other, that we're doing our part not only of healing others and aiding them on their healing journey, but also that means we have within our own minds, our own bodies, our own hearts, and our own spirits the ability to do our own part of our healing. As our founder Leah always says, healing does not have to be complicated. It may not be easy, but it doesn't have to be complicated. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do a check-in. How you doing today, relatives? We're so happy that you're here with us as we can reflect together on what it is that we need and how we're feeling. And that's why we check in with how we're feeling, because once we know how we're feeling, like we truly allow ourselves to take a moment to recognize how it is that we feel and sit with it for a moment. It can help us determine how we're going to move forward on our healing journey, on our wellness path. I'm going to sneeze. No? I'm not going to sneeze. I feel it coming. I feel a sneeze coming. We also have our occupational therapist with us here as well, Claudia Meyer-Smith. Claudia helps with that mind-body connection. She's a wonderfully caring person and really has been in occupational therapy for a long time. So know that Claudia's here as well, relatives. We're truly here for you. We're surrounding you in the circle of care, all of us. All right, so with our check-in, hi Avery, I see you. Good morning. To all of our relatives out there, if I didn't call your name, sometimes I see names, sometimes I don't, but I want you to know you're all welcome here. This space is for you. And when we check in, one of the things I recommend doing is a body scan. Because you might not know exactly how you're feeling, and our body can be a really good indicator as to what it is we might want to pay attention to. So let's scan from head to toe, paying attention to our foreheads, our temples, and our jawline, our neck and our shoulder. Are there areas where you're feeling tension or tightness? Maybe it might be pain. We'll scan on down to our chest, taking a deep breath. Does your chest feel tight or does it feel neutral? And to our tummy. Maybe your tummy feels like it had a nutritious breakfast. Maybe it's full. Maybe it's too full and you have indigestion. Maybe it's empty or neutral. We'll scan down to our hips. How are your hips feeling, relatives? To our legs, our knees, our calves, our ankles, the balls and arch of our feet, our heels and our toes. Now let's go ahead and scan to our upper back and lower back. And from our shoulders down to our arms and elbows and forearms and wrists, our palms and our fingertips. Any discomfort in any of these areas, any tightness, any pain, or does it feel neutral and good? Let's go ahead and scan our hearts. Are there feelings or emotions that are lying heavy there? Or does your heart feel full of love, or free, or neutral? And finally, let's scan our thoughts and our minds. Did you sleep well last night? Or perhaps you had feelings and emotions and thoughts that were circulating through your mind before you went to bed. Perhaps even keeping you up late at night. Or maybe your mind feels rested and invigorated and ready for the day. And with that, relatives, please feel free to check in. Comment in the comment box. Let us know how you're feeling today. We can talk about it. Whether we're celebrating something or whether we're just reflecting, or maybe you just need to work it out and you're not quite sure exactly what it is you want to say, but you just want to type something so we can start the conversation. Maybe your day's not good. Maybe it's been a tough week. That's okay too. Today I wanted to focus this video on our wellness in the areas of cold season. There are some things that I have here this morning that I do want to share. And please, relatives, if you have any of your own, anything that you grew up doing, your elixirs, things that you do, like rituals that you have, medicines that you use, natural medicines or plant relatives, we can talk about how we can help deal with that. The reason I wanted to cover cold season remedies and natural remedies is my son was really sick this week. He got a COVID test. He's negative, but he did start with a tickle in his throat, and then it turned into more than a tickle in his throat. Then it was a sore throat. Then it turned into congestion, and then it turned into a stuffy nose, and then it turned into an icky cough. And he was also extremely tired for the last week. So I thought I had skirted it somehow. But yesterday I accidentally put on his mask because we have the same mask. And so this morning when I woke up, my throat was hurting. I'm feeling really tired. My eyes feel dry. And I'm like, oh no, I think I'm getting what he had because I accidentally put on his mask. So The first thing I want to show you, relatives, is our peppermint essential oil. I'm not promoting any brand, okay? Whatever brand works for you. The only thing is, though, about essential oils, and I say this consistently, is that relatives, don't buy the discount oils that you find at TJ Maxx or Home Goods or Ross, or don't get it at the dollar store, don't get it at Walmart. And here's why. Because those are places where they're focusing on price points. And although I know, believe me, relatives, I know cost is important when it comes to things, but when you are doing essential oils, price points are a really good indicator of what's in the bottle. And for the United States, for us to have what's called a pure essential oil, it only needs to be 3% of the bottle. So the less that you're paying, the more you're getting fillers. And we don't even know what fillers they're putting in there. They don't have to label the ingredients. That's why I like this brand. I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything like that. I'm not sponsored, but this brand, doTERRA, Young Living, other brands like that, doTERRA will actually, based on the serial number on the bottle, will literally, you can look it up online and it will list all the chemical constituents in it. Okay, so that's my little disclaimer there. But if you're feeling congested, if your sinuses are feeling inflamed or tight, if your throat hurts, if your chest hurts, even if you have any tightness in your head from maybe migraines or headaches, um, a drop of peppermint essential oil. So here's what I do. I just take one drop. I'm going to rub it in my hands. I'm going to cup it over my nose, close my eyes. Ah, it just opens up your airwaves. For my throat hurts, I can already feel it soothing the back of my throat. I could even put a couple of drops of this oil in my palm with any carrier oil like coconut oil, a sweet almond oil, avocado oil, macadamia oil would make it smell like a peppermint cookie, and just rub it on the chest. The other thing I love about this oil is that it is one of the more affordable essential oils. So, not that it's doesn't cost much, because it can cost, I think this bottle, I don't know, might be about 15 bucks or something. I don't remember offhand. But the really cool thing about this is it can last for years. So you only need one drop if you want to open up the airwaves. Ah. All right. So while we're going through the check-ins, I'm going to show you the next thing that I'm going to do for my cold, so that I can kind of stave it off. And we'll go ahead and read some of our morning check-ins. Indigo says she's up too late last night. Someone was wrong on the internet, lol. My mind was too active once I got offline. Now a little sleepy, but glad to be up at the time I like to get up anyway. Indigo, were you social media warrioring it last night? Yeah, sometimes when we got the energy, to stand up for what we feel is right. That's great. Sometimes, it can take a lot out of you. So, relatives, if you ever need to turn off the social for your health, I get it. So this morning, because of my sickness, because I'm feeling tight in the throat and in the sinuses, I did make ginger tea. Now, I was really feeling tired this morning, so I didn't even peel it. And this is organic ginger, so I have no problem just keeping the skin on. I didn't even cut it, relatives. I actually just broke up the organic ginger into pieces, and I boiled it maybe for about 10 minutes. I actually like to boil it a lot longer. However, I was short on time. So whereas ginger tea might often have a rich golden color or a deep color, this is kind of lighter in color. It's almost like a very, very light color. But just the heat itself is really going to help with my throat and my chest. And inhaling the steam is really good too. So that coupled with some peppermint can be really, really good. And let us know, relatives, share what is in your cup this morning. What elixir do you have? Whether it's coffee or kombucha or vitamin water or tea, let us know. I want to say a toast to all of our relatives today. It is Friday. May you have moments today and throughout the weekend of peace, respite, wellness, and self-care. Cheers to you all. Yeah, so the heat, the ginger is also anti-inflammatory, so that's good for the throat. Ginger really good for indigestion as well. Perfect. It's just what I needed. And actually, to add to helping the throat as well too, would have been really good as some honey. However, I didn't want any sweetness in my drink this morning. I just wanted to drink it without. But if you don't care about the, having sweetness in there or something like that, you could put a couple, like a tablespoon of honey. Local honey, particularly, can really help if you have allergies. Local honey is a really good medicine for that. It can really, really help. But local, because it's helping with all of the pollens and things like that you have right there in your land. So local honey, amazing. Raw honey, amazing. So that would go really good in the ginger tea as well. And finally, relatives, while we do our check-in, one last thing for for my wellness battling this cold is grapefruit. Any grapefruit lovers out there? Beautiful plant medicine. I'm always completely astounded and overcome by how many amazing medicines that the Creator has given us, that Mother Earth has given us. And so I'm going to go ahead and prep this grapefruit. Again, any item or any fruit with vitamin C is going to be really, really good for you. When you're not feeling well, we need vitamin C every day. It helps our immune system. It does boost our immunity. We are one of the creatures that don't make our own vitamin C in our bodies. So it also helps with our skin, and vitamin C also regulates all of our system functions. So yeah, it's good for the skin. It's good for immunity. I haven't had grapefruit in a long time, but I'm sure looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and go into our comment section for a second here. Um, Good morning, Evie. Good morning and blessings to you too. Indigo says, LOI, I feel an obligation to protect people sometimes. This time from a convincing grifter leading people to a destination I'm sure they don't want to arrive. Indigo, it sounds deep. Rest up today. Take care of yourself. But I know sometimes we need our warrior women and our relatives, our warrior men. Good morning, Teresa. Teresa says, hi, first time to be here. Oh, so sorry you're not feeling well. I've been suffering with a chronic ear and sinus infection since October and on antibiotics, leaving me exhausted. I love essential oils in my diffuser. Thank you for sharing how you use this medicine. Thank you for sharing, Teresa. Sending you lots of healing energy and love. Also, Teresa, let us know what you're using for your essential oils if you care to share. Avery says, when I feel sick, I take a fresh minced garlic clove. Nice. With raw unfiltered honey along with Epsom salt baths. Usually take some echinacea and a colloidal silver too. Nice, Avery. I love hearing everyone's wellness regimens when your immune system is not feeling tip-top. Indigo says, I find biting into a raw garlic clove to nip a cold in the bud. You know what? I'll try that today, relatives. Thank you. I know garlic is good for that. I tend to avoid garlic because I don't want to be the smelly person in the room, but I think today it's totally worth it. I'll give it a try. Um, Marilyn, good morning. So glad you're here with us. Judy, good morning. Judy says, sorry you're not feeling well. Take care. Thank you, everyone. So hopefully our relatives, all of us out here, are giving everyone some good advice if you're not feeling too good. And thank you, everyone, so much for the support. I don't even know. This is my first time getting sick in, I think it's been a year. It's been almost exactly a year. And relatives, did you know that next week, Friday, a week from today, was the beginning of the shutdown. So we have been doing this for a year. It's crazy. It in some ways the year has been fast, and in some days the year has been slow. I guess it depends on how you look at it. It's really been strange. Indigo says, I love watching you attend to your health, Malia. I just realized it's something I rarely get to actually see anyone doing. It's just so good to see. Hope you get lots of rest this weekend. Thank you, Indigo. And yeah, relatives, sometimes our wellness and self care is, taking care of our emotional health. Sometimes it's our mental health or physical health. Sometimes it's even our financial health, right? Or our social health. And then of course, when we get sick too, it's really important to take care of that as well. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and read about grapefruit. Real quick, Evie says, oh, we have a couple more comments. Evie says, Irish sea moss bladderwrack is excellent in regenerating your cells. Nice, Evie. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Evie. I don't know if it's Evie or Evie, but please feel free to correct me because I sure don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Avery says garlic may upset your stomach, so be ready for that. LOL. It works wonders though. Thanks, Avery. I wonder if the honey helps combat that part of it. Evie says I'm getting elderberry too. When I feel like I'm getting sick, I dose myself with 10,000 units of vitamin C. Yes, that's why I'm shooting for the. Thank you so much, Evie. I love elderberry syrup. When I have it in my house, I end up drinking it too quickly because it tastes so darn good. But I love a homemade elderberry syrup. Um, Indigo says, yeah, I always wash it down with some OJ. And that's in regard to the garlic. I'm thinking, thank you. Karen says, sending healing energy your way, Malia. Love seeing this community love and care knowledge this morning. Yes. How you doing, Karen? How you doing this morning? Yeah, relatives, I feel like you know how when you know you're gonna get sick and you can feel it coming on with a little the tickle in the throat and maybe some tightness in the ears? That's where I'm at right now. Like I know it's coming. My throat was hurting this morning, but I'm just gonna try and do my best to vitamin C it up, garlic it up, grapefruit it up. Oh, okay. Evie says her name's like Chevy. Okay. All right. Thanks, Evie. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. So as I'm finishing up this grapefruit, I do want to share some health benefits of grapefruit. So what I love about this healthline.com is if you're looking now, of course, we always want to check with our doctor or healthcare provider or holistic practitioner, whoever it is that you trust when you are going to, even with natural medicines, because they're so powerful. They really can be. So just because it's natural doesn't mean relatives not to check in with your healthcare provider because particularly even with grapefruit, if you're on certain medications, it can have an adverse effect. So you really want to be careful. Um, and always consult your doctor first if you're on medications before going any route with ingestion of something to for your ailments. Anyways, that being said, I love healthline.com because healthline.com everything that they say on their articles, first of all, the article is always written by a healthcare professional and it's always peer reviewed by a second healthcare professional. What I also like about healthline.com is they make absolutely no claims without research connected to any of their claims. So they will not make a statement unless there's research that's linked to it. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Grapefruit. Grapefruit is really low in calories. I'll just kind of sum it up. It's very high in nutrients and it can benefit your immune system. That's why I'm taking it right now. In fact, I might even put a little drizzle some honey on this so that it can help with my throat as well. And while I drink the ginger tea, and then I'll keep breathing peppermint throughout the day. Grapefruit, I think a lot of us know that, or have at least heard that it's really good for weight loss, and it can actually help prevent insulin resistance and diabetes. So, do your research, guys. Decide if it's right for you. It can also help improve heart health, and it's high in powerful antioxidants And as well, this is really interesting, it can help reduce the risk of kidney stones. So all of this is wonderful for me to hear before I get into eating my grapefruit. I'm so glad I have grapefruit. I don't always have it on hand. My mom gave it to me, but look at this. How beautiful is that? Yum. Grapefruit with sugar, grapefruit with honey. It's my favorite. All right, let's go back to the comment sections here. I'm not going to eat the grapefruit yet because I want to make sure I have it prepped with my honey and everything like that. John says, um, hi, Karen. Glad you could join us this morning. I agree and love that everyone is sharing their knowledge with each other. And relatives, that's totally what community activated medicine is about. There's no one here who's greater than the other. My role as community healer simply means that I'm here to help people, to help facilitate the fact that you all are your own healers. You can do your own part of your healing. When we allow others to be vulnerable and share their feelings, share their emotions together, we're actually helping, aiding in communal healing. And so, yeah, when everyone shares, that's amazing because you can inspire others, you give your own perspective, you can really help everyone out there who needs it. Because sometimes, really, all someone needs to have that moment is to just have someone sit with them, judgment free, stigma free, an open heart, and just being loving. And that's huge because we don't always have that kind of support. Okay, let me see. So Evie also says, put a few halved raw onions around your house. They will draw all the sickness. That is so cool, Evie. Thanks for sharing. I forgot about that. It's interesting how onions can soak all that up. Okay. Hi, Chanel. Chanel says, my sister Kira James makes her own elderberry syrup. It was part of my COVID recovery regimen. Okay, Chanel, I'm glad you recovered. I'm sorry to hear that you went through that, but that elderberry syrup, that's amazing. I think Kira is the way that we pronounce your sister's name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kira, doing wonderful medicinal work. Thank you. Chanel says, yes, grapefruit can be dangerous with blood thinner, so definitely consult your physicians. But it is a superfruit. Yes. I love in my wellness when you have your daily wellness, your wellness journey, those acts of self-care that you're doing every day in your proverbial medicine kit. What do you have in your medicine kit? What techniques or tools or medicines, literal medicines, natural medicines do you have um, in your medicine kit? And for me today, I happen to have grapefruit, ginger, and peppermint. So this is all amazing. But the cool thing is you get to decide what it is that you need for the day on your wellness journey. What's really fun to do if you're in the mood for it is to count like what you did today. We're reflecting today. We're practicing community activated medicine. For me, I have my peppermint, my morning elixir, and my ginger tea. So that's already almost a half a dozen things that we're doing right now together. Evie says, I have always boosted my immunity due to my age, but more so with COVID, I don't skip. Okay, Um, I don't skip anyways. Grapefruit juice too. My mom used to have spoons with a jagged edge specifically for grapefruit. Oh, that's cool. Thanks for sharing, Evie. I have been into natural remedies for almost 40 years. Doctors practice medicine, but not on me. All right, Evie, yes, you please always share what you know about the medicines that we're talking about, the natural medicines we're discussing here. It's greatly appreciated. Jessica says, good morning, relatives. I'm good. I would like to share the high vitamin C foods include guava, bell pepper, kiwi fruit, strawberries, oranges, papaya, broccoli, tomatoes, kale, and snow peas. Thank you so much, Jessica. She is also one of our Her Wellness team members. She's our bilingual victim service advocate. So, Jessica, if we do have any Spanish speakers here, Jessica can speak to you directly. So, do know that we have support for you that way. Also, Jessica is a nurse. So she's not only doing program support at the Institute and, she's also an advocate, but a lot of experience here and all to help you and serve you relatives. Evie says, thanks, Sandra, for turning me on to the stream. All right, Evie, hope to see you again. Good morning, Teresa. Teresa says, I have geranium, sweetgrass, orange, lavender, and white sage for diffuser. Also use in a hot bath. Have been very careful to buy pure oils, but have a lot to learn to use more fully. Teresa, so glad you're here with us, and thank you for sharing. Geranium, sweetgrass, orange, and lavender, and white sage. Amazing. All of those are wonderful. Love it. Thank you, thank you. John says, good morning, Jessica. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Indigo says, my grandmother had a spoon like that too. I totally forgot about that. Takes me back. Nice. Chanel says, love this. Thank you. All very delicious. Okay, so we're caught up on our comments, relatives. Let's go ahead into our acupressure, otherwise known as emotional freedom tapping, or EFT. For those of you who are just new on these videos and just joining us for the first or second time, know that all of the videos this past week and the week prior, we really delved into the benefits of EFT, or emotional freedom tapping. There's 4 steps that we go through. The first step, relatives, is to reflect on and take a moment to decide how you're feeling today. Identify a negative feeling that you may be having, or we could call it a feeling that isn't serving you, or maybe you're having anxiety about something that's going to happen, or maybe you're worried, maybe you're upset or angry about a conversation or an argument, maybe you're feeling not so confident today, maybe whatever it is, maybe you're still haunted by something in your past or a traumatic event. Then once you identify that, that's step 1. Let me see. I'm feeling sick today, so that's my not serving me feeling. I'm feeling sick today. Okay, so step 1, identify that negative feeling. Step 2, rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being it's no big deal. You can brush it right off your shoulder. 10 is it's horrible. It's extremely affecting you right now. It's extremely intense. Okay? Okay. So for me, because I feel the sickness coming on, but it hasn't hit me totally, maybe I'll be able to avoid it. I'm feeling like a 5 or a 6. Okay? All right. So once we identify on a scale of 1 to 10, the gravity of that feeling that we're having, or emotion, or that negative thought. By the way, relatives, for those of you who aren't feeling any, negative thing that needs addressing right now, that's awesome. Good for you. You can still tap. Now, we're going to turn that negative feeling into a word. Or into a affirmation or a statement. So, this is step 3. Step 3 is we're going to identify our affirmation with that negative feeling. So, for example, mine is kind of straightforward. The other day, mine was I was angry and upset. I was triggered. Today, it's I'm feeling sick. So once you identify that negative feeling, you want to get specific about it. Like, for example, if you're feeling insecure today, you don't want to just say, I'm feeling insecure. We want to identify what it is more specifically. So it might be like, even though I'm feeling insecure because so-and-so said something mean to me, or even though I'm feeling insecure because I got a bad grade on a test, or even whatever it is. Okay. So you want to get more specific. All right. So then we're going to go into our affirmation. So the affirmation, and I'll type it in the comment box, is even though, and then you're going to fill in what that specific thing is. ... The next part is, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And the reason that we're going to do that is because we have the amygdala in our brain. When we're feeling threatened, stressed, anxious, worried, mad, any of those feelings that don't serve us, we immediately engage into the amygdala. That's the lizard part of our brain. That's the primordial part of our brain whose purpose literally is to help us survive. So that means we're going to do one of three things. We're either going to fight, we're going to flight, so we're going to run away, or we're going to freeze. Those are the three things that we're going to do. We're going to fight, flight, or freeze when we're engaged with the amygdala. And that's when we have feelings of threat or anxiety or whatever. So when we do our tapping, what that's going to do is that's going to get us out of that reactionary fight, flight, or freeze mode, which, by the way, produces cortisol, which is our stress response hormone. And instead, what it's going to do is it's going to wire us our neural pathways to our prefrontal cortex. That's where we have logic and reason and language, and we can chill out. Okay, so once we identified that statement, now we're going to do the actual tapping on our meridian points. Our meridian points are energetic pathways in our body. We have them here. They're all over, but we have some here. We have some on the bony part of our cheekbone, under the bony part of our eye, above our lip, below our lip, right here where the sternum meets the ribs on one side and the other side. We also have on our rib cage on the side of us, the top of our head, and then the lines on our hands here and here. Okay, so what we're going to do with 1, 2, or 3 fingers, we're going to start to tap as we say our affirmation statement. Okay, are you ready, relatives? You can sit, lay, or recline however you feel comfortable. I'm sitting at my dining table on my chair. You can close your eyes if you want to, but you don't have to. We're going to take a deep inhale. Let's start tapping in front of the eyebrows with the statement. Even though I'm feeling sick and I feel a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Bony part of the cheek. Even though I'm feeling sick and I feel a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Bony part here. Even though I'm feeling sick and I feel a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Below the nose. Even though I'm feeling sick and I feel a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Below the lip. Even though I'm feeling sick and I feel a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Let's tap here. Even though I'm feeling sick and I feel a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Deep inhale. Even though I'm feeling sick and I'm feeling a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Ribcage. Even though I'm feeling sick and feeling a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Other side. Even though I'm feeling sick and I'm feeling a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Top of the head. Even though I'm feeling sick and feeling a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All right, let's go ahead with our hands. Even though I'm feeling sick and feeling a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And last part. Even though I'm feeling sick and feeling a cold coming on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale through the mouth. We're going to release as we stretch gently from side to center with our neck. Another inhale. Let's roll the chin from shoulder to shoulder, keeping it in the front, nice and gentle. And finally looking down towards our lap. And exhale as we reach up towards the ceiling. All right, relatives, the last step. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to gauge that feeling. Remember how we had you rated on a 1 to 10 before. How do you feel now? If the number has decreased by 2 or 3 points, mine has. I was feeling a 6. I'm now at about a 4 because I did a lot of tapping and motions and things to take care of myself. If that number stayed the same or only decreased by 1 point, or perhaps that number even increased, I invite you to go ahead and go through all the tapping motions again. Or you can always try another thing in your medicine kit, whether that be taking a nap, or practicing gratitude, or prayer, or eating something nutritious. Maybe it's laying tobacco or smudging. Maybe it's chants. Maybe it's looking in the mirror and saying kind things to yourselves, or going for a walk in nature. Or one of my favorite self-care actions, it might even be Netflix and some ice cream. The beauty of your self-care actions and those tools, techniques, and methods that you have in your medicine kit is that they're completely your choice. You decide what tools you're going to put in there, and you decide what, when, how your self-care and wellness and mental health is going to look. And that's one of the beautiful things about the HIR Wellness Institute. We're never going to try and make you be a certain way or do a certain thing. You're going to do exactly what it is that you feel is right for you. We honor and respect that. The same thing about how I often talk about the Creator. You know, I'm not here to push any spirituality or religion or belief or non-belief. Whatever you believe, whether that's, religion or spirituality or the Creator or the universe or the power of yourself. Maybe you're not even spiritual. Maybe you're not religious. Maybe whatever you are, it doesn't matter. That's the power of choice, and it's a sacred choice. All of our choices that we make on our path in life and our journeys and our self-care and wellness, they're synchronous. It is your choice. I can just show you what I do and the methods, but ultimately, you're the driver. You're the captain. You're the chief. All right, let's go to the comments section. Okay, let's see what we got here. Abby says, I love Epsom salt baths, especially on the new and full moons. Nice. Thank you, Abby. Yes, some Epsom salts. I need to soak my feet in some of those salts. Good morning, Krista. Abby says, try making your own oils. Then you'll never have to worry. They can be time consuming, but worth it. Absolutely agreed, Abby. So relatives, if you got the time, if you got the patience, if you want to learn, or if you already know how, that's the most beautiful thing. I always say with the natural teas, with the essential oils, there's all these great brands we can talk about, but ultimately I think the best ones are the ones that are made for you or made by someone you love or made by yourself. Thank you for sharing, Evie. Evie says, I've been tapping for years and never knew it had a technical name. Yes, acupressure. Emotional freedom tapping is kind of how you'll hear people talk about it a lot in like clinical areas. EFT. But it's been around for thousands of years, relatives. Tapping has been around. It's really good for insomnia, anxiety, PTSD, stress, sadness, depression. Um, Pretty much any feeling that's not serving you, that doesn't feel good to you for whatever reason, you can tap. And you can tap in the line at the grocery store. You can tap if you're waiting for news at the doctor's office. You can tap. You don't have to be all, you can be subtle about it, or you don't have to be subtle, but you can tap at any time. You don't have to tap all the meridian points that I identified, but it's helpful. Yes. Krista, thank you so much. Evie says if you can't get outside, you can grow roots like a tree inside, listening to singing bowl meditation music. Beautiful. Thank you, Evie. Indigo says doing the tapping this time really made me feel better. I know Indigo said I started laughing at myself while doing it, which always provides a soothing release. Indigo, I remember you saying that tapping you weren't so sure about it. It's good to hear that you are giving it a good laugh, and it's good to know that it's helped you today. That's great. Evie says yogi teas are good because they give a yoga pose for the afflicted area. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. John says he agrees that this exercise and technique can feel silly. It totally can. And you know what, relatives? I personally love it. I don't always remember to do it when I'm in stress states, but when I notice where my son, he's 11 years old, when he's having like his little like meltdowns or he's stressed out about school, we'll go through tapping together, and it really does work for him. So it's good to do with the kids too. Krista says never tried tapping, but definitely feel better. That's great. Thank you, Krista, for sharing. Evie says I always tap my face when my sinuses are giving me grief. Yes. And relatives, you might actually like do tapping as a sort of like an instinctual response to stress and not know it. Like, do you ever tap on your when you're trying to think of something? Kind of tapping on that meridian point. Interesting. With that, relatives, I want to say mahalo nui loa for joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being part of Community Activated Medicine. We're here for you, and you're here for us. That's a beautiful relationship. That's a circle of care. For all of our relatives out there who aren't doing okay, I will always remind you that we do have a CARES warm line. You can call or text, and within 24 hours, you'll get a response. Although it's not a crisis line, we can be here to support you if you're feeling whatever way. If you're feeling sad or anxious or upset or angry, maybe you don't even know what you're feeling, but you know you're feeling some sort of way and you need to be able to talk it out judgment free, stigma free. We're here to support you. And not only can we hold space for you and provide you with emotional support, we can also provide you with resources and advocacy that may be helpful towards you. Resources in shelter, safety planning, all sorts of things. You're not alone, relatives. Maybe you don't want to talk to the CARES Warm line, but if you need support, do reach out to someone that you trust. Maybe it's a family member or a friend or a coworker. Ma'alama pono I ko kino. Take good, righteous care of your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Aloha nui to you all. Before we go, I'm going to leave you with a chant. It's called Eala E. The sun rises and it awakens. From the heavens and the highest heavens to the oceans and the deepest part of the ocean. Arise, awaken. Every day we're given the opportunity to start again. E ala e, ikala e kahikina, I kamoana honu, pi kaleva nu. Ikala e kahikina, aya ikala. Eala e. Yes, Donna, a man can call to men, women, two-spirit, LGBTQ, MMIW, victims of sexual assault, victims of crime, people who are experiencing domestic violence, people with trauma. Anyone can call. Evie says she's in Wisconsin too. All right, sunlight out in Wisconsin. I want to say aloha nui, much love to you all out there. Last thing before we go, the HIR Wellness Institute and every single service that we offer is completely free, relatives. Please do visit our website, hirwellness.org. Wait, yeah, hirwellnesscenter.org, I believe. John, can you put our website on there? You can find out more about our services by calling our main line. And no, I'm just one of the many amazing people on the HIR Wellness team who are doing live videos all week long for you to enjoy, for you to experience healing. The reason that we're able to keep all these services completely free is through our funding. So we have a community survey linked to this video. It's completely free and anonymous. It asks just a few questions. Please, relatives, take the survey. This is how we're able to continue our services at no cost to any of our relatives. Our founder, Leah, knew that she would never charge a penny for healing. All you need to do to walk this healing journey is simply to realize that you're standing on that path of wellness, self-care, and mental health, which is synchronous with your path and journey in life. So please take that survey, relatives. We will never ask you for an insurance card. Doesn't matter to us if you have one or not. A hui ho akuno. Have a beautiful day, relatives. Mahalo nui to all for being here. Happy Aloha Friday. Hope to see you Monday at 8 a.m. and aloha.